Hello everyone, my name is Christopher and welcome to Spain, where I am to drive the brand new Renault Scenic E-Tech here. And this is a car that I've been looking forward to see and drive, and finally I get to do just that. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to take this for a first test drive. We're going to take a look inside, outside, and we're going to talk about the specifications of the car as well. Mind you that I am talking about the Swedish specifications. I don't know if there will be any regional differences because I only know the Swedish ones, but I think you will enjoy it. Isn't it? It looks really good, doesn't it? Okay, so I think we're ready to go, and we better then we have to get started. There we go. If you have driven the Renault Megane earlier, you know this from this interior. But I thought we would go out from this parking lot and get out of the city and on the roads, and we do some more driving and talking there, because since I don't live in Spain, I have a bit hard time with the traffic in cities. So now I'm on a larger road and we can talk a bit more about the actual car that I'm driving. I'm driving the Renault Scenic E-Tech. It's a brand new car from Renault, and it has nothing to do with the old Scenic. This is a brand new car that is 4.4 meter long. It is not some kind of van. It's a small compact SUV, and we're talking the smaller SUV segment. I'm about to turn somewhere, so I need to look a bit on the map because I don't have it in front of me for some reason. Not here. This car is the EV87, which means that this has a battery of 87 kilowatt hour net capacity with 92 kilowatt hours gross capacity. But you can also get the EV60, Renault Scenic EV60, and then you get a smaller battery, which is 65 kilowatt hours with 60 kilowatt hours net capacity. So you won't go as far with that. And regarding range, with the EV60, the smaller battery, you get 430 kilometers of WLTP range, while if you go with the larger one, the EV87, you get, here's a stop sign, you get 625 kilometers of WLTP range. The car is front-wheel drive only, and it doesn't matter which one you go for. If you go for the EV60 or the 87, both of them are front-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive does not exist at the moment. If you get the EV61, you will get a motor of 125 kilowatts or 170 horsepower. While if you go for the larger one, this one that I have here, the EV87, well, then you get 160 kilowatts or 220 horsepower. And I feel that's enough. You don't need any more. This is a sensible car, and I like it for it. We'll see how it drives during today and tomorrow. I'm on a motorway now, and going 120, and I hear some wind noise. Pretty good with road noise, but in southern Spain the roads are very good, so we'll see more about that when I drive the car in Sweden later. The asphalt is much worse in Sweden than it is here in southern Spain, but there are some wind noise. Can't unhear that. I'm testing out the assistance systems now, and I think they're good. I have a car behind me now, so I will not do what I had planned, but he's driving. There we go. So now something I would like to know is if we can do some own driving while we have the assistance, because not every assistance systems work 100% in all situations, so then you might want to do some manual input, which you can do without the system going off. I know, like in the Teslas, for example, you can't barely do anything manually without the system going off, but here you can. So you can correct the car if you think there's something wrong. We also have a car coming up here, so if we try the adaptive cruise control, I have it set on step 3, which I must say, I thought the car would brake a lot earlier than it actually did. I'm quite close to the car, and now we are backing up. I would have preferred the car to brake earlier instead of this late. Now we are speeding up again, 120, here we go, and that is great. I thought if we go down to like 100, well, we can go down further. We go down to 80 and we push it. Oh, now you can really see that there is not a lot of horsepower in this car. Oh, it takes some time before the car gets up to speed. I think on these roads is fine, doesn't really matter, but 80 to 120s can be good if you are going to do an overtake. Then 80 to 120 might be realistic, and I think you will need to just plan that a bit. I have no one behind me, so we can do it again. If I'm driving in 80, a truck, I need to get past it, and 80, I said 80, and we floor it 106 to 112, 17, 123. It takes some time for it to get up to speed. So it's an overtake situations where this might be annoying. Otherwise, it will just be good for the consumption. And we're going to talk more about consumption when I'm about to... Oh, maybe I should be here. We will talk more about the consumption when I'm about to end this day, because then I have actually some miles behind me. Right now I've been driving like 35 kilometers. So I'm currently driving on a road with some twists and turns, which is all fun and good. This car is not this type of car that you want to drive actively. I'm currently in comfort mode, but we could always go to sport mode if I can't. There we go. Eco. We don't want eco, we want sport mode. And let's see if we can get some more out of this car, because from what I feel right now, the throttle response is much more now when we are in sport mode. Let's get out of this. The steering it's not magnificent. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is very little feeling at all in the steering wheel, and something I really don't like with this car is the brakes. They are way too soft. Now there is no need for me to brake, and I have a car behind me, but if I speed up, and here we have a big truck. Oh, the brakes are so bad. It feels like it doesn't... What's going on with this one? Thank God for this second lane. They take late, they feel spongy, like a sponge. Like you press it and you expect something to happen, but it doesn't, so you need to press harder, and then everything comes at the same time. I hope that Renault can fix the brake pedal, because that's something I really don't like about this car. So I'm back at the hotel now, so I thought before we leave for today, we're just going to talk about consumption. I've been going 110.1 kilometers according to the car, and we have 76% left in the battery. I started out with 100%, and we can, according to the car, go 422 kilometers more. I took a picture before I started driving. I can put it up here so you can compare the difference. I don't remember it right now. And if we then scroll down to consumption, we can see that I have a consumption of 18.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. But then you need to have in mind that we have been going up and down through Spanish mountains, and I've been going actively sometimes. We can call it that way. Now I will check into the hotel, and then there's dinner with experts from Renault. So I will find out what features this car has and what car features it doesn't have, and I will let you know as soon as I know. Well, tomorrow really, and for you in a couple of seconds. New day, new car. This is the iconic version, and this is the top trim level. If we get this one, we have everything that Renault has to offer. And I want to start by talking with charging, because here we have the charging port. We have AC charging at 22 kilowatts AC standard. There are some countries where three phase is not being used, but you are using one phase instead, and then there will be 7 kilowatts instead, which is basically the same thing when it if you start counting. But for us three phase countries, we have 22 kilowatts just in the Renault Megane and Renault Zoe. If we take a look, we also have fast charging, of course, for DC up to 150 kilowatts with this EV87 version. The EV60 is still on 130, but to be honest, I don't think that matters too much, because this one, we saw the charging curve for this one yesterday, and we have 150 up to about 20%, then it goes down to 130 and stays there for about 50%, and then it will continue to 80 with 95 kilowatts, and 130 kilowatts, of course. And I don't think that's really that good. The average would be 110 kilowatts at 10 to 80%, and you would do that in about 30 minutes. I think we have come further, really, but it seems to be the charging that is a hard way to do, and many cheaper cars have longer DC charging speeds, and maybe that's fine, maybe it's not a problem. I would have hoped 25 minutes or something like that, and to be honest, the optimal charging curve, you don't get that often. And in Sweden, where it's cold, you want the preheating of the battery. This has a preheating of 4.5 kilowatts. Nissan Ariya has 2 kilowatts, and BMW has 10 kilowatts, just to give you some reference. 4.5 kilowatts will take more than an hour to heat the battery if you are in the minus 10 degrees, which is quite common in Sweden, and I know in many other countries as well. So just keep that in mind. I don't think you will charge this one in 30 minutes if you are in the cold climate. As I said, this is the iconic version. The car starts out with the Evolution package, and it is quite cheap. It's more to have a cheap starting price. It's not something that most people will buy. Renault thinks that most people will go for the Techno version with a big battery, which is the next step. And also in the Techno version, you can get the smaller one, the smaller battery as well, but the bigger battery is of course better, and you will get more range. And in Sweden, that will cost you 549,000. I don't know. All regions have their own pricing, so I suggest to go to Renault.com or your local Renault website to check out the pricing for you. But I think that version will also be the version to get if you want a good car with long range, with reasonable equipment. If you want to be a bit unique and get some sporty feeling, you can get the Alpine Esprit or the Esprit Alpine. I can't remember what comes first. Alpine is the sport brand of Renault, so they have taken that name here to make the car a bit more sporty, and it's only for looks. There's nothing in drive dynamics that makes this car more sportier if you go for the Alpine Esprit version. It's only looks. You get a matte gray color here, which kind of looks kind of good. I will show you some images of that because I drove it yesterday. You also get unique rims for that, and then you have the iconic version, which is I have here, and you also get this iconic funny rims for this one as well. Of course, aerodynamics, and I think they look quite kind of cool to be EV rims. They often look kind of bad, but I think Renault has done a good job with this one. Before we continue driving, I thought I want to talk about the luggage here. So if we open the trunk here, and as you can see, we now have electric tailgate. Didn't have that in the Renault Megane, but as in the Renault Megane, it's still very deep here. And if we gonna pick something up, we will hit our head here. By design, but on the other side, you want to use all the space that you have, and since this only have a motor in the front, what else to put here other than more storage? Taking a look around here, we can see a 12-volt socket. That's nice, but not much more. We have some holders and such. The rear seats are 40, 20, 40, which is good, but if we fold them, as you can see, we have quite a lip there. There is an option to buy a second level floor here, so you can smooth that out a bit. I hope I show you images of that, because apparently a car at the hotel have that, so I haven't seen it yet, but you should see it now, and that should help with something. But it would have been nice to just have a flat floor. We also have option to lift this floor, this bottom floor, and we get about I don't know how many liters, but there is about 20 centimeters compartment down where we can put our cables and such. Super nice that we have that at least. Then finally, if we close this one, you might want to have a trailer behind. Works well with the Renault Scenic. 1100 kilos, so 1100 kilos. It is a manual tow hook, so no semi-electric or electric, something like that. So you have to click it to get it stuck there. And if you are as interested as me to see what they have in front here, if there is a frunk or not, it isn't. We have a heat pump, we have the motor and some other electronics here. But there really is no space for a frunk either, and the compartment is quite short here. It's not so deep, so I kind of forgive them, because it seems that they have used the space here and then left space for the drivers and passengers inside of the car instead. And lastly for today, I think we should take a look at this back seat here. So this chair is about how I would sit in it, and then I'm 180 centimeters long. I can fit with my knees. Height, no issues at all. Lots of room here with the big roof we have here, glass roof. Quite plastic. Lots of cheap materials, scratchy. I think the back seat is fine. You can really fit in here even as an adult, so no issues. It feels you have some cheap materials that, but I'm fine with that because of the price point of this car. You also have two USB-C down there. We have quite a large armrest here with two cup holders, and if we fold this up, we can do like that. And what can this be used for? Well, here I have my phone, I can put it here, and now I can sit here and watch myself or whatever I want. Or if I have an iPad and we are two people here that want to watch the same movie, why not just put it like that? And come on, I want to fit. It didn't work for the Swedish version either. Come on. I give up. You get the point. You can put it there and both of us can watch the video at the same time. Smart solution. Taking a look at the driver environment in the Scenic, we have seen it before in the Megane, so you basically know how it looks. If you have seen the Megane, we have our gear selector here, we have a shift for the windscreen wipers and such. We have a pedal here for the regenerative braking. We have some buttons for media, and here we choose what type of mode we want to be in. We have Eco, Sport, Personal, Comfort, and yeah, that was those. So that's what we have. Comfort is the blue theme, which I have been driving the most in. On this side we have for our assistance systems, and we also have a pedal again, and then we have a lever again for lights and such. Here we have some other, more buttons. We can open the electric tailgate and handbrake and such. But the important and interesting button here is this one. This is called the My Safety button. And right now it is turned on, which is it will always be when you start a car because of EU legislation. But if you press it 2 times, now it's off. That means it's in My Safety personal mode. What does that mean? Well, let's head over to this screen, which we will talk more about later, but right now I just want to show this. So if you go to driver experience, you can see that everything is all on here and we can't configure anything. This is when all the systems are in place and we EU are happy. But if you go to personal, we can configure My Safety, and here we can set what options we want to be turned off when we push that button. So right now I have everything turned off, so if I push that button, all these features will be turned off. And it is a so easy way to turn off many of the assistance systems that people don't like. I haven't had any bigger issues right as of in my couple of maybe 3-4 hours of driving this car, but I know many people don't like the assistance systems intervening, so having a shortcut physical button that allows you to turn off the systems that you want to have turned off, fantastic in my experience. Taking a closer look at the driver display, it is divided in 3 widgets and we can choose what we want to see, but there is some stupid animation really that just takes time before it changes the mode. We have some echo, blah blah blah. What's really interesting is the Google Maps here in the front, and then we also have the widget on the side that we can choose what we want to show there, or we can remove it completely, so we have a big map in front of us. The last widget is about the driving. We have our speed there, and we have assistance systems and such, so that's something that will always be there no matter what widget we have. We have some metadata down in the bottom. We are 95% in the battery at the moment with 602 kilometer estimated driving. I don't think we will go that far today, and I don't think the car can go that far, at least not with my driving today. Here we have the Android automotive system that Renault is using together with Volvo and Polestar. This is version 12, Android 12, and as you can see we have Google Maps here, which is currently navigating somewhere. We have 2 widgets down here for media and then vehicle, so we can get quick access to some of the features, for example the camera here. I think the cameras are pretty good. I like them. If you want to go do something else, you can go to media here and we can see you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Android Auto, even if this is an Android automotive system, this is something that Renault is alone with. You also have some other options, and if you would download more media apps, they would come here as well, Spotify or YouTube Music, for example. I have Apple CarPlay connected, which is wireless, which is also nice, and this is how it looks then. So fills the whole 12-inch screen. No issues there. The problem is that if you want to navigate using this one, the battery won't be preconditioned before charging. So I highly recommend just navigating with the Google Maps built in. Here we have some apps that is currently downloaded to the car. We have Vivaldi browser, so we can browse the internet inside the car, which is nice. We also have the Play Store here, and I have tried to find YouTube, but I can't find. I find YouTube Music, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Prime Video and such. Beach Buggy Racing seems to be in every car nowadays. Amazon Music, TuneIn Radio, as I said, but I can't find YouTube. So I would assume this is because the car have not been delivered to customers yet, and I will ask Renault at lunch why YouTube is not in the car, and I can write down here what they are answering. Last tab is the actual car functions. Here we have just normal car functions that you would expect to have in a car. If we go to electric, for example, we can go to settings and you can see the pedestrian warning sounds that we have outside the car. You can choose between 3 different. And here in the battery you can set the limit to how many percentage you want the car to charge to. 80% is the recommended from Renault, but you can charge up to 100 if you want to. So that's basically a quick look at the Google automotive system. I will try some Google assistance functions, because this one has it as well. Hey Google, I'm cold.
Sorry, I can't control that in this car.
Hey Google, turn off speed audible alert.
There's a setting called Voice and Audio Activity that lets you save audio in your Google account. I'll take you to that setting now.
Hey Google, turn on steering wheel heater.
Sure, turning on the steering wheel heater.
Hey Google, turn off steering wheel heater.
Alright, turning off the steering wheel heater.
Hey Google, tell me a joke.
What do you get when you put a vest on an alligator? An investigator.
But as you can see, the Google Assistant is unable to change car features or car safety functions, but you can change climate control and such. And while talking about the climate, I just want to show you here we have physical buttons for that. Super nice. So, oh, it's a bit cold outside. Let's put the heating up. Done. Or down. Perfect. Fantastic. The defroster is here. We have all this feature, and I really think it's super nice to see that Renault has kept buttons, and they have. I think there is a bit too many options here at the steering wheel. I mean, this lever I even forgot to tell you about. This is the media lever where we can pause the music, raise volume, change the songs and such. But it's clear to me that you don't need to remove all the buttons and shifters and such just because you want to get a lower price. Renault has done both. So as I'm driving now, I thought we could talk a bit more about this screen that I'm sure some of you have been noticing. I think it works kind of well. There's a camera at the back which show you what you can see here. You have the same option in the Renault Megane as well, and I like it. I enjoy it. I use it all the time when I'm driving Renault. If you don't like it, which I know many do, you can just flip it, and now there's a real mirror there instead. But the problem is that the rear window is kind of small, so you don't see as much outside as you did before with the camera. Something you get now, but that you didn't get with the camera, is the depth of field. But I think you can learn to use this one as well, and I highly encourage you to at least try it out. And then I need to do it like that so I can see properly. As I said, I like it. I don't mind it, and I think it will work great in the Polestar 4 as well. I know it was the Nissan Ariya also have this function, and to be honest, since Renault and Nissan has been working on this platform together, Nissan should have basically the same system, but I didn't like it in the Nissan. I can't tell you why, because I can't figure out myself why I didn't like it, but I didn't. So in that one I used a mirror, but in Renault's I'm driving, I always use the camera. I must say I like this car. I enjoy driving it. It's a nice get back to the roots kind of car where we actually have physical options. We have a physical climate control. We have physical everything around the steering wheel here. We have buttons for stuff. We still have a large screen that's running Android Automotive, which is the best system in a car because it have all the apps and functions that we want. So Renault has done a great job there. We still have a large driver display. Personally, I think the driver display is a bit too big. I think the steering wheel is a bit too big, but it needs to be this big so I can see the driver display. I would have preferred a bit smaller of both, but you can't get everything, and I know some other people like this instead, so it's just personal opinion. But Renault has done a good job with this. The car got a Car of the Year award 2024, where I think it's by like 50 or 60 motor journalists in Europe come together and set points on a car. And it was this one. I think the Swedish motor journalist gave the most points to BMW i5, which I'm a bit unsure of how that could have gotten more points than this one. This is just, sure, the BMW i5 is one type of car, but this is a much better car when it comes to price, range, and just normal affordability. Renault has done a really good job there, and I think they will set some kind of new standard for what a car should cost. In Sweden, the car costs 549,000 for the larger battery, and I think that is the best. I think you get the most kilometers out of the price with this car than any other EV on the market today. And the car is still a good car, still good family car, nothing fancy, but I enjoy it. So it seems that Renault has done a really good job with the Scenic. I will try it when it comes to Sweden. We'll try it with the Swedish roads. Probably get higher consumption than we get here in Spain. But we'll test it more then. For now, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I thank you for watching. And if you enjoy this video or any other videos that I do, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and maybe give a like to the video as well. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in another video.